All right, so today we're diving headfirst into a massive shakeup happening in the music industry. We're talking about artificial intelligence. Is it going to be this incredible new tool that pushes creativity to new heights? Or is it something that could completely tear down what it even means to be an artist? The question isn't if AI will change music anymore, it's how much and who's going to be left standing when the dust settles.
So, picture this. April 2023, a new track called Heart on My Sleeve drops, and it sounds like it's by two of the biggest artists on the planet, Drake and The Weeknd. It goes viral, instantly. It's racking up millions and millions of streams everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everyone's talking about it.
But here's the crazy part. Drake and The Weeknd had absolutely nothing to do with it. The song was a complete fake, cooked up by some anonymous TikTok user called Ghostwriter977 using AI. And just like that, this one song sent a shockwave through the entire music world. It exposed this huge hole in our laws and kicked off this massive, urgent debate about technology, art, and even our own identities.
So you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? Well, it's all thanks to something called generative AI. Think of it like this. You take a super smart computer model and you feed it a massive diet of data, like an artist's entire back catalog of songs. The AI just listens and learns. It picks up on all the patterns, the sound of their voice, the way they write lyrics, and then it can spit out brand new stuff that sounds almost exactly like the real thing. It's kind of scary, right?
For a whole lot of artists, this tech doesn't feel like a cool new toy. It feels more like, well, an existential threat. This is one side of the debate. And it's this really powerful, urgent fear that AI could be a fundamental danger to human creativity itself.
And listen, this is not some far-off hypothetical problem. We're talking about over 200 of the world's biggest musicians. Billie Eilish, Stevie Wonder, even the estates of legends like Frank Sinatra and Bob Marley. They all signed this open letter. They're basically demanding that tech companies promise not to build AI tools that are designed to replace human artists.
At the very heart of the problem for artists is how these AI models learn. What they often do is just scrape the entire internet for copyrighted music without asking for permission, without giving any credit, and definitely without paying for it. For a lot of creators, that's not innovation. They call it what it is: copyright theft on a massive industrial scale.
And to understand just how high the stakes are financially, just look at this number: $9 billion. That's how much money Spotify alone paid out in music royalties in 2023. That's a huge slice of the economy that supports countless artists, songwriters, you name it.
So you can see where this is going, right? There's this massive financial incentive for streaming platforms. Why would you pay out billions in royalties when you could just fill up your playlist with AI music that's good enough and get it for pennies on the dollar, or maybe even for free? This could just flood the market, watering down the royalty money so much that it becomes almost impossible for human artists to make a living, or even just to get heard.
But it goes even deeper than the money. There's this philosophical threat, too. The songwriter Nick Cave, well, he didn't pull any punches when a fan used AI to write a song in his style. He called it a grotesque mockery of what it is to be human. And that feeling, that's shared by a lot of people. The idea that real art has to come from real human experience, from pain and joy and vulnerability, things an algorithm can only imitate, leaving you with something that just feels soulless. Okay, but is that the whole story? Are we maybe looking at this the wrong way? Let's flip the script for a second and look at the other side of this. Let's talk about the incredible promise of AI, not as a replacement for artists, but as a new kind of creative partner.
Some artists, like Clarell Evans from the band Yacht, they have a totally different tick. Her point is that artists have always used new tools. And for her, the weirdness of AI, the mistakes it makes, the strange things it comes up with, that's actually where the magic is. It can be a source of inspiration, a way to break out of a rut and find something totally unexpected and new.
This model from a study on creative collaboration shows you exactly where that line is for a lot of artists. They're totally cool with AI helping out with the stuff at the bottom, brainstorming ideas, analyzing sounds, things that help the creative process along. But they draw a hard line when it tries to take over the stuff at the top, the actual creative vision, the final say.
So the breakdown is pretty clear, right? Artists seem to be saying, yeah, AI can be a great assistant. Use it for generating ideas, for prototyping. But it can't be the author. The minute it starts taking control, dictating the intent, or trying to replace the artist's actual personality, that's where it crosses the line.
So in the real world, what does that look like? Well, it means using AI to get the creative juices flowing when you're feeling stuck.
Or using it to automate all those tedious technical jobs, like mixing and mastering or fixing a vocal track. It's seen as this super powerful assistant that can speed things up and open new creative doors. But the human artist, they're always in the driver's seat.
Okay, so you've got the incredible promise on one side and this huge peril on the other. So now, the whole thing shifts to this critical battle that's being fought right now in courtrooms and in governments. It's the battle to write the rules for this whole new era of music.
And at the absolute center of this whole fight is this legal idea called the right of publicity. Basically, it's supposed to protect you from somebody taking your identity, your name, your face, your voice, and using it to make money without your permission. The big problem? There's no single federal law for it, just this messy patchwork of state laws that are all different. It's creating total legal chaos.
And we have to remember, the push for this technology is happening on a massive global scale. Just check out the patent filings. This is a full-blown international race with China way out in the lead. This is not some niche little tech trend. This is the next frontier.
So what about the fans? Where do the listeners stand on all this? Well, it seems like public opinion is squarely on the side of the artists. A recent survey out of Canada found that a whopping 79% of people believe that an artist's voice or music should absolutely not be used to train an AI without their permission. People seem to value authenticity.
And because of this growing pressure, we are starting to see some real action. Tennessee, home of Nashville, just became the first state to pass a law to deal with this. It's fittingly called the Elvis Act, and it explicitly protects musicians' voices from being copied by AI without their consent.
So all of this, it leaves the entire music world standing at this huge crossroads. And honestly, the decisions that get made in the next year or two could send the whole industry down one of two very, very different roads.
In the best-case scenario, governments step in and regulate AI, the streaming platforms play fair, and artists get to use these new tools to make even more amazing work. But in the worst-case scenario, it's a total free-for-all. AI floods the market, artists can't make a living, and real, human-made art becomes this rare, niche thing for only a few people.
And that really brings us to the biggest question of all, the one at the very heart of this entire debate. Is creativity just about the final product, the song you listen to? Or is it about the human process behind it, the intention, the struggle, the emotion that a real person poured into it? How we answer that question, well, that could decide the future of music itself.